Not all birds take flight into the sky. In the arid desert, some species remain on the ground as their primary habitat. Their wings do not extend for flight, but their legs function as their primary weapons. Each stride is not only movement but also a precise and forceful strike. Under the burning sun, where winds carry heated sand, the desert functions as a harsh environment and a battlefield. In this place, every breath and every step determines survival. Dominance does not depend on size, but on the ability to use speed and strength effectively. The chase between the Roadrunner and the venomous snake provides direct evidence. One side depends on rapid speed, while the other depends on stealth and venom. The desert becomes a harsh arena where each moment carries life-threatening tension. In this dry ecosystem, survival requires not only speed and strength, but also behavioral strategy. This is a direct example of survival, where nature displays both intensity and precision in every movement of animals. The desert of the southwestern United States presents a severe challenge for all organisms. Here, the sun provides light but also radiates intense heat across the land. Water is rare and serves as the ultimate limit for survival. All life, from plants to animals, must adapt with specific strategies. Vegetation is not as dense as a rainforest and not as widespread as grassland. Yet each species demonstrates remarkable adaptations. The saguaro cactus stores water in its thick stem and endures extreme heat, becoming a symbol of the desert. Yucca plants use rigid leaves as defense and reduce water loss. Creosote bushes grow in scattered form, release chemicals to prevent nearby growth, and withstand high heat that few other plants can tolerate. When rare rain arrives, small desert flowers bloom rapidly. Completing their life cycle within a short period. The strength of desert plants lies in their ability to conserve and store water. Some act as reservoirs, while others shorten their growth cycles to avoid depletion. Their weakness is equally clear. They do not form wide canopies, leaving the surface exposed and creating difficult conditions for animals. Within this ecosystem, life concentrates in hidden locations such as the base of cacti, inside rock crevices, or within cracks of dried soil. In these shelters, insects, reptiles, birds, and small mammals find refuge and avoid direct solar heat. This distribution forms the unique ecological structure of the desert. Limited plant cover, yet sufficient to support animal food chains. desert animals must balance advantages and limitations to survive. Rattlesnakes and lizards regulate body temperature by reducing activity during peak heat. Roadrunners depend on strong legs to travel over sand, to hunt prey, and to avoid predators. They rely on speed but face challenges from limited shade and scarce water. A wider view reveals that the desert is not empty as its surface suggests. Each plant and each animal holds a role in the survival network. Plants provide shelter and, at times, rare sources of food. Animals regulate population numbers and maintain ecological balance. The strength of this ecosystem is stability under limited resources. Species live with reduced demands. The weakness is vulnerability. Extreme climate changes can damage the fragile system quickly. The desert is therefore not only barren land, but also clear evidence of adaptation and evolution. Life continues to persist and transform this dry region into an ecosystem of strategy and balance. In the harsh desert, where temperatures are high and water is scarce, the roadrunner stands out as one of the few birds that remain on the ground. It does not use its wings for long flight, but relies on strong legs as its main advantage. This strategy creates a survival pattern different from most other bird species. The roadrunner's body length is about 20 inches. Its speed is remarkable, reaching more than 20 miles per hour. This speed equals that of animals known for agility, such as jackrabbits. The roadrunner uses this advantage to move across hot sand, to hunt prey, and to escape threats. In an open environment, speed functions as its primary weapon. The roadrunner has turned this into its dominant advantage. The greatest difference of this bird is its choice to abandon long-distance flight. Its short wings support only brief bursts when needed, while its legs serve as the main tool for movement. This adaptation is both strength and weakness. On the ground, the roadrunner becomes highly effective, but when faced with stronger predators, the inability to fly far forces it to depend almost entirely on running speed and evasion. The strong legs also support hunting. The roadrunner preys on insects, small lizards, and even young snakes. It approaches prey with speed and delivers fast pecks, leaving little chance for resistance. This ability secures the roadrunner's place in the desert food chain. It does not compete directly with birds that hunt in the air. Instead, it focuses on ground-dwelling organisms. Another strength of the Roadrunner lies in its flexible diet. It hunts live prey, but also consumes berries and seeds when animal food is limited. This dietary diversity allows it to maintain energy in an unstable environment. The main weakness of the Roadrunner is its small body. It cannot defend itself effectively against larger predators such as raptors or adult snakes. In those encounters, survival depends almost entirely on speed and evasion. In the desert ecosystem, every encounter may determine survival. For the Roadrunner, the usual prey includes insects, lizards, and small reptiles. At times, however, it faces a more dangerous opponent. The rattlesnake, which carries strong venom and strikes with speed. The desert at midday is extreme, with scorching sand, and this is when rattlesnakes are most active. They move close to the ground, using camouflage and flexible bodies to approach prey. Each tail rattle produces a distinct sound that functions as a warning and creates pressure for the target. In this environment, one mistake can mean death. When the Roadrunner detects a rattlesnake, both defense and hunting behavior are activated. Its advantage is not muscular power, but fast reflexes and precise strikes. If it chooses to run, the Roadrunner may escape. If it chooses to fight, it must use all of its advantages. A single successful strike from the rattlesnake is enough to kill a smaller opponent. In the moment of attack, the rattlesnake launches forward with spring-like speed. Its main strength is the ability to strike suddenly at close range, combined with venom that disables many animals. Its weakness is the reliance on the first strike. If the prey avoids it, the rattlesnake needs time to recover its position. That opening gives the Roadrunner a chance to counterattack. The Roadrunner uses its legs to keep distance while delivering pecks and precise stomps at the snake's head. This strategy targets the snake's weak point directly. By attacking repeatedly, the Roadrunner reduces the snake's ability to strike back. Agility and accuracy become its main weapons. A small bird can defeat one of the desert's most dangerous reptiles. Victory provides more than safety. It also provides a source of protein-rich food. In scarcity, a snake becomes valuable nourishment that sustains the Roadrunner for the days ahead. This ability to turn high risk into energy gain is a critical survival strength. However, the Roadrunner does not always win. Young or inexperienced birds, or those facing larger snakes, may fail. Its permanent weakness is its small body and lack of thick protection against a direct strike. Its survival depends entirely on reflex speed and strike accuracy. The confrontation between Roadrunner and rattlesnake shows the principle of survival competition. The rattlesnake relies on venom and sudden attack. The Roadrunner relies on speed and agility. The result of each encounter determines the fate of individuals and maintains balance in the food chain. This conflict demonstrates that no species in the desert holds absolute dominance. Each species survives by maximizing strengths and minimizing weaknesses. The Roadrunner uses speed and strategy, while the rattlesnake uses venom. This opposition creates one of the most intense confrontations of the desert ecosystem. On the African savanna, where most birds rely on wings to hunt or to escape, the secretary bird follows a different path. Standing more than 3 feet tall with long legs, it does not dominate the sky, but instead commands the ground with speed, strength, and accuracy. This is one of the rare raptors that survives almost entirely by using its legs as complete survival tools. The first and most visible strength of the secretary bird is its ability to move continuously. It can walk more than 20 miles a day across grasslands while searching for prey. Its diet includes large insects, lizards, small birds, and even venomous snakes. This wide-ranging strategy increases its chance of finding food and reduces dependence on a single prey type. Dietary diversity is the key that allows the secretary bird to remain stable in the wild environment. Unlike many raptors that dive from the air, the secretary bird confronts prey directly. Its long, muscular legs can deliver kicks several times stronger than its body weight. When attacking snakes, it targets the head, which is the most vulnerable point, and repeatedly stomps and kicks until the snake is immobilized. Its near-perfect accuracy prevents even the fastest reptiles from escaping. This makes the secretary bird one of the most effective snake hunters in the animal kingdom. In addition to power, the secretary bird has protective adaptations. Double eyelids shield its eyes from counterattacks. Its long legs keep it at a safe distance from venomous bites. These adaptations allow the bird to control the fight, combining offense and defense while reducing risk. the grassland ecosystem, the secretary bird regulates populations of snakes and other reptiles. This role supports natural balance. By hunting venomous species, it gains a high-energy food source while reducing threats to smaller animals. This demonstrates the complex connection within the food chain. One ground-dwelling bird can influence the stability of entire populations. The secretary bird holds unique advantages: strong legs, direct attack strategy, and protective adaptations against dangerous prey. Its weaknesses are limited long-distance running speed, reduced maneuverability, and vulnerability to large predators. This balance of strengths and weaknesses has shaped a unique bird in the natural world. The secretary bird does not dominate the sky, but by mastering the ground, it has become a biological assassin of the African savanna. In the vast swamps of Central Africa, where papyrus reeds cover the water and every step may sink into mud, lives a predatory bird with unusual appearance and unique hunting strategy. This is the shoebill stork, a species considered a symbol of mystery in wetland ecosystems. Standing more than 4 feet tall, with a large bill that is thick and edged like a blade, the shoebill carries a near-perfect hunting tool for this habitat. Its greatest strength is not speed or agility but patience and precision. Unlike other birds that fly frequently or chase prey, the shoebill remains still for hours in the swamp. This waiting behavior conserves energy and causes prey to lose awareness. The attack occurs in a single sudden strike. When a fish, turtle, or even a young crocodile comes within reach, the shoebill lunges forward, clamps with its massive bill, and slams the prey into the mud. This strike leaves almost no chance of resistance. Its hunting method combines prolonged stillness with a forceful and decisive attack. Strong, long legs allow the shoebill to stand firmly on soft mud and to maintain balance even during an attack. This is a clear advantage in an environment where many other birds cannot adapt. Its tall body allows wide observation without much movement, reducing detection in the silent swamp. Despite these strengths, the shoebill has weaknesses. Its ambush hunting style limits success in open areas where prey must be chased. Its slow movement and heavy flight make it vulnerable when facing larger threats such as adult crocodiles or humans. In swamp ecosystems, the shoebill functions as a top predator that controls populations of fish and small reptiles. Its presence helps maintain ecological balance by preventing certain species from increasing excessively in this fragile habitat. Each successful hunt provides food and reinforces its place in the swamp food chain. The shoebill's most distinctive feature is the combination of extreme patience and decisive attack. Every movement of this bird has a specific purpose. It does not need to fly high, and it does not chase prey. By choosing the right moment, it turns stillness into an effective hunting advantage. In the harsh swamp ecosystem, where food supply changes unpredictably and competition is constant, the nest of the shoebill hides a strict biological rule. This is not a hunt or a fight in the wild, but a form of selection that begins as soon as life starts. Each breeding season, the shoebill usually lays 2 eggs. In reality, only one chick usually survives. The first egg to hatch gives a clear advantage. That chick grows stronger, more resilient, and dominates feeding from the parents. The second chick hatches later, is smaller, weaker, and rarely wins the unequal competition. The strength of this strategy is that it ensures at least one chick has a high chance of reaching maturity in an environment where food may be scarce. Raising 2 chicks would reduce the survival chance of both. By focusing resources on the stronger chick, the shoebill maximizes reproductive success. This is a form of natural selection inside the nest, adapted over thousands of years. In the natural world, where no excess is allowed, life is tested from the very beginning. For the shoebill, the nest is not only the start of a life cycle, but also a direct demonstration of biological selection. Where survival and death are decided in the earliest days. Across the African grasslands that stretch to the horizon, the ostrich holds a special place in the ecosystem. It cannot fly, but it compensates with a massive body and strong legs, making it one of the most successful birds adapted to this harsh environment. The ostrich can reach a height of nearly 10 feet and a weight of more than 220 pounds. This large body size is both an advantage and a burden. It reduces the chance of becoming prey for many predators, but requires powerful defense to overcome limited maneuverability in tight spaces. All of the ostrich's strength is concentrated in its legs, which function for both movement and defense. The ostrich can reach speeds of up to 45 miles per hour, matching the cheetah over short distances. This ability allows it to escape from lions or hyenas on the open plains. Few predators can maintain such speed for long, and the ostrich often uses this advantage to widen the distance and escape. However, speed has limits. If surrounded or trapped in a confined area, running is no longer effective. When it cannot run, the ostrich uses its legs as direct weapons. Each leg has two large toes. The main toe carries a hard claw that can deliver kicks strong enough to cause serious injury. This is an advantage that few predators ignore. Many carnivores have learned caution because a single accurate kick can end a hunt. The weakness is that the large body reduces flexibility in turning, and surprise attacks from multiple directions reduce its defensive ability. Beyond speed and strength, the ostrich also depends on its senses for survival. Its large eyes allow long-distance vision to detect predators before they approach. On open grasslands, this vision is a clear advantage that gives the ostrich time to choose whether to run or to fight. However, its long neck and small head are vulnerable points that predators can target if they are fast and precise. In the food chain, the ostrich holds a unique intermediate role. It is not a predator but feeds mainly on grass, seeds, and wild fruits. Its large size and lifestyle reduce the number of predators that can succeed against it. The ostrich also contributes to the ecosystem by dispersing seeds through its droppings. which helps regenerate vegetation across the grasslands. The existence of the ostrich shows a typical rule of adaptation. It does not need wings to dominate the sky, but it has turned its legs into the foundation for survival. Its strengths are speed, striking power, and vision. Its weaknesses are large body size and reduced defense when surrounded. On the African savanna, survival depends on balancing speed and strength. The ostrich is not a hunter, but it is not easy prey. With its advantages, the African ostrich is one of the most resilient warriors of the grassland ecosystem. In the harsh African grassland ecosystem, survival is not only about speed or strength, but also about protecting the next generation. The African ostrich demonstrates this clearly. In open ground without shade, its nest is visible from a distance. Inside lie large, pale eggs, each the size of a small melon, exposed to the tropical sun. At first sight, they appear vulnerable, but in reality, the nest is one of the most dangerous areas for predators to approach. The first strength of the nest lies in continuous surveillance. The male guards during the day, using large eyes to scan the surroundings and detect threats early. When midday heat gives way to cooler air, the female takes over. This alternation provides protection 24 hours a day and ensures that the eggs remain incubated for almost 40 days. This biological system maintains the right temperature for embryo development and reduces the risk of a single bird suffering too long in extreme heat. In the broader ecosystem, ostrich egg protection represents a balance mechanism. If all eggs survived, the population could grow too quickly and place pressure on vegetation. Competition with predators ensures that only a portion of the eggs develop into adults. This maintains stability and prevents disruption of natural balance. The nest is therefore more than a site of incubation. It is a biological frontline where muscle strength, defensive strategy, and environmental pressure shape the future generation. Its strengths are persistent guarding and powerful defense. Its weaknesses are exposure and visibility to predators. This balance creates a realistic and challenging life cycle, characteristic of Africa's wild grasslands. In the harsh African ecosystem, survival does not always belong to the strongest muscles or the sharpest claws. Sometimes survival belongs to the species that uses collective strength and persistent hunting strategies. The African wild dog, Lycaon pictus, is a clear example of this rule. Compared to lions or leopards, the African wild dog has a much smaller body. It does not possess the sudden pounce that brings down prey in one strike, and it does not have the heavy body to overpower opponents. Its greatest strength lies in pack behavior and coordinated strategy. A group may contain more than 10 individuals working together to chase prey over long distances, making it difficult even for agile antelopes to escape. Endurance is its main weapon. Instead of relying on a single decisive strike, African wild dogs use continuous pursuit. They wear down prey with stamina until the animal is exhausted and can no longer escape. This hunting method shows the difference. They do not depend on maximum speed or a lethal blow, but on cooperation that leads to certain fatigue of the prey. However, their weaknesses are clear. With slender bodies, they are vulnerable to losing kills to larger predators such as lions or hyenas. They often abandon prey after a difficult hunt because they cannot defend it. This is the cost of relying on numbers without strong individual power. Even so, African wild dogs have one of the highest hunting success rates among carnivores. This proves that close cooperation can overcome physical limitations. Pack behavior secures their special place in the savanna food chain. The Okavango Delta, one of the richest wetlands on Earth, begins its rhythm at dawn. Birds call through the trees. Insects fill the air with sound. Herds of animals move to begin feeding. Within this diversity, one of the most organized hunting families appears, the African wild dog pack. The special strength of this species does not come from biological weapons such as claws or fangs, but from unity. They hunt as a single pack, with each individual playing a clear role in the chase. Some follow close behind, some block the front, others push from the sides. This coordination turns their strategy into a serious threat for many herbivores. Each wild dog has a unique coat pattern with irregular patches, similar to natural fingerprints. These differences allow individuals to recognize each other and maintain group cohesion. When moving together, the colors merge into a continuous flow, creating the appearance of one unified force. The clear strength of the African wild dog pack is cooperation and sharing. When prey is captured, they do not fight aggressively like many other predators. Every member, including pups and weaker adults, receives a share. This sharing sustains the group and reinforces bonds, which are critical for survival in a competitive environment. This strategy also creates risks. Dependence on the group means that when numbers decline, hunting efficiency decreases. When facing larger predators, the pack often cannot defend its kill and must retreat to survive. Even so, in the vast ecosystem of the Okavango, African wild dogs maintain an important role. They regulate populations of herbivores, preventing overgrazing and maintaining ecological balance. Dawn here marks more than the start of a new day. It also reinforces a survival rule. The strongest do not always endure, but those that unite and adapt will always secure a place. In the harsh African ecosystem, the survival of the African wild dog does not depend on individual strength but on organization and pack cohesion. Before the sun rises high, the pack leaves its shelter and moves as a tight unit. The pups are protected at the center, surrounded by a circle of adults, forming an effective defense against threats. A pack may contain from 10 to 15 individuals, and sometimes more than 30 when conditions are favorable. Hierarchy within the pack is clear. Only the dominant pair reproduces, while the rest focus on hunting, defending territory, and raising pups. This social structure distinguishes African wild dogs from many other carnivores, where competition and conflict inside the group are common. Here, cooperation is the key factor that reduces internal conflict and increases survival. During breeding season, unity becomes even more visible. The dominant female is pregnant for about 70 days and then gives birth to a large litter of 8 to 12, sometimes up to 20 pups. These newborns are weak, blind, and fully dependent on the pack. To ensure their survival, the entire pack acts as guardians. More importantly, they learn survival within the protection of the pack, which is the foundation to become effective hunters later. The greatest strength of pack organization is collective nurturing. Not only the parents, but also other individuals share responsibility for raising pups. This increases survival rates, which is a critical evolutionary advantage in a harsh environment. However, weaknesses also exist. When the number of pups is too high, the pressure of feeding and protection increases. This sometimes forces the pack to move early, or exposes it to higher risks from predators. In the predator chain of the savanna, some species are feared by most hunters, and the Cape buffalo is one of them. With a shoulder height of about 5.5 feet and an average weight of more than 760 pounds, its dense muscles and steel-hard curved horns make it one of the most dangerous opponents in Africa. The strength of the Cape buffalo lies in mechanical power and relentless combat instinct. Instead of running, it often turns back to confront predators directly. This behavior makes it completely different from many herbivores that rely on speed to escape. This aggressiveness makes the Cape buffalo a difficult target for most predators. Lions can attack, but the cost is usually high. Hyenas sometimes attempt, but they often fail. In contrast, African wild dogs with bodies only a fraction of the buffalo's size dare to face this giant. What allows them to succeed is not individual power, but pack strategy. Every Cape buffalo hunt is a calculated process. Wild dogs do not target the strongest animal, but instead focus on the weakest link in the herd. When the midday sun slows all activity, they detect a group of buffalo separated from the larger herd. Among them is an old female with unsteady steps. This weakness becomes the opening for the pack strategy. They begin to deploy a surrounding formation. The Cape buffalo represents muscle strength, resilience, and determination. These traits make it nearly untouchable under normal conditions. But when age or separation from the herd occurs, it reveals a fatal vulnerability. In contrast, wild dogs are small, but they compensate with speed, strategy, and absolute unity. On the African savanna, the confrontation between these two species shows a clear rule. No species is completely invincible. Individual strength may inspire fear, but collective power determines survival. At this intersection, a giant herbivore and a small predator both shape the harsh balance of nature. On the wide savanna, disputes over food occur frequently, and any animal that is not cautious can pay the price with injury or death. A pack of African wild dogs has just brought down a weakened antelope. This is the result of pack strategy and a vital food source after many hours of pursuit. However, the arrival of opportunists quickly changes the situation. The eerie calls from a distance announce the presence of spotted hyenas. They do not come alone but arrive in a group of 5, each larger than a single wild dog. This species is known for its boldness, social coordination, and aggressiveness when competing for food. The power of their jaws can crush bones, and combined with their larger size, it makes them formidable opponents in any confrontation. As the hyenas approach, they move directly into the center where the wild dogs guard their prey. The clash erupts. Growls, the sound of bones breaking, and the smell of blood fill the air. In those moments, both species display their strengths. The wild dogs are agile and cooperative. The hyenas are powerful, persistent, and unflinching in conflict. However, the wild dogs understand the balance of power. They do not seek pointless battles. Their goal is not to assert dominance, but to maintain survival and stability of the pack. Severe injuries mean the loss of hunting ability, which is a greater threat than losing a single meal. In the wild, every wound can lead to death. The decision of the wild dogs to retreat does not come from weakness. It is a calculated choice of a predator that weighs gain against loss. The opponent may claim the meal today, but the pack remains intact, and future hunting opportunities still exist. This is the strength of wild dogs, the ability to place collective survival above immediate conflict. In contrast, the hyenas display a different strength. Their boldness and persistence often allow them to seize food from others. They do not avoid conflict and actively seek openings from their rivals. However, their heavy reliance on scavenging also reveals a weakness. Not every encounter favors them, and when the opponent is numerous or determined, hyenas can fail. This encounter demonstrates the contrast in survival strategies. Wild dogs depend on speed, cooperation, and long-term calculation. Hyenas depend on power, persistence, and a strategy of theft. Neither approach is wrong, because in the harsh conditions of the savanna, any strategy that works can ensure survival. On the plains, the strongest muscles do not always guarantee victory. Sometimes, wisdom in choosing the moment to retreat is the most effective weapon. In this, the wild dogs reveal a clear truth. Survival is not only about winning battles, but also about keeping the pack ready for the next day. On the savanna, each species follows its own survival strategy. African wild dogs depend on collective coordination. Ostriches protect their eggs with powerful legs. Hyenas persist with a strong instinct for competition. These strengths allow them to endure, but their weaknesses leave them vulnerable to sudden changes. The greatest threat does not come from other predators. The expansion of human activity with roads, fences, steel traps, and shrinking habitats is pushing many species toward extinction. The African wild dog, a symbol of pack organization, now has fewer than 6,000 individuals left in the wild. This number shows that the balance maintained for millions of years is under severe strain. There is still an opportunity for change. Projects that restore migration corridors, community efforts to live in balance with nature, and even small actions such as protecting forests or supporting research all contribute to sustaining life. Nature cannot defend itself against the speed of human exploitation. But by recognizing the strengths and weaknesses of each species, it becomes clear that survival is not an individual battle, but a shared responsibility. Hope lies in whether humans choose to become part of the solution rather than the cause of disappearance.